Let's start at the beginning. I was diagnosed almost 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years ago, officially in August, that I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer. It became apparent to me that something was wrong one night as I was having a hard time breathing. And so I lived with that. It got a little bit better, but it didn't go away. So I ended up going to urgent care, and from then going on to the emergency room, and then CT scans, PET scans, all of that good stuff later, and with ending up with a stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer adenocarcinoma diagnosis. Initially, what that did to me was I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed by my body. I felt betrayed by God. I felt betrayed by life. I thought I was doing everything right. I was a holistic practitioner for 26 years, and having that as my background, I knew about eating right, and I did. I knew about stress, and I tried to keep that in as much context as I could. I knew about living a healthy lifestyle, exercising. I did. I thought I was doing everything right, and I felt betrayed. And so once I spent some time with that and stopped the blame game of why, and again, why me, and why this, of all of them, why this, why cancer? Why cancer? That's the one thing that we think is something that we can't live through or live with. That's the hard part about cancer, right? And so the betrayal, that was probably the number one thing that I had to come to terms with right away. And that didn't happen immediately. That took several months to get me to that place. The other thing that I didn't know then that I know now is that cancer research has gone leaps and bounds to what it used to be. And there's so much information out there, and there's so much new that's happening that is so very, very exciting. And I wanted to learn as much as I could about that. And so I have. That has been something that I have done, is jumped right into the research and knowing about my diagnosis. A part of that, one of the things that went with that was getting my cancer tumor biopsy with a core tumor biopsy and having that sent to Foundation Medicine to have the sequencing done, the genomic sequencing done. And that was incredible because that gave my doctors specifically information about what was driving my cancer. And we need to know what's driving our cancers, because there are different treatments available now that never used to be available. And we won't know if those treatments work unless we know what's driving our cancers. So I didn't know about sequencing. I didn't know that the genomics and the genetic testing was so important when it came to cancer treatment. And I do now. And I'm very excited about that. And I'm very excited about where that's going in terms of cancer treatment. The other thing that I didn't know then that I know now is that it is so incredibly important to get a second opinion. Getting a second opinion doesn't mean that you don't trust your doctor. That's not what a second opinion means. A second opinion is getting all the information from the best minds out there about what the best treatments are for you, for your specific cancer. Get all the information you possibly can. And if your oncologist is a good oncologist, he or she will not be offended if you ask to get a second opinion. They can refer you to people that you can go to many different websites. You can go to many different. Survive It has a great resource for second opinions. So I would highly recommend, if you don't know who to get a second opinion with, then search out the Survive It website and find that out. The research and why we need research and why we need research funding, and if we should be excited about that, if we want to raise funds, if we don't want to raise funds. I did not consider myself a fundraiser, but then again, I didn't have anything as passionate in my life as I do now. And so I'm passionate about the research. I'm passionate about research funding. I'm passionate about having people know that these options are available to them, that every cancer patient has options available to them. No matter what your diagnosis is, there's hope. Research can offer us hope. What else offers us hope? I think that having a supportive network, I think that having supportive people in our lives offers us hope. They give us hope. Why do we want to keep going? Find your passion. I found my passion. A new passion than what I thought it would be before, but a passion. And even though I got so much satisfaction out of helping people before in my previous life, my precancerous life, I can take what I learned in all those years, and I can use that as a springboard to help other people. And so know that whatever you're going through, there are people that have been there, and that you will have the opportunity to share also what you have learned, if you choose to do that. And for me, that was really important. I wanted to be able to share what I have learned in my studies, in my passion for understanding about what drives cancer, how does cancer form, what are the different treatments, how are they working, how do they work, what stops them from working, how do we best find the best treatment available to us. That's why your doctors are there. That's why you form a team. And that's why it's so important to take advantage of everything that research has to offer us right now. And so I would encourage everyone to do that, because I didn't know that before. When we're not focused on cancer, we don't want to think about it. When we're not focused on death, we don't want to think about it. So that's a big piece for me that has happened. Creating a team is so important as well. I've had, and we all have had, anyone that has had this diagnosis know that there are people that we thought would be there that won't be there, that can't be there for us. We know that people will come into our lives that we never knew were there before. We can create incredible new relationships with people. The people that have come into my life because of my cancer diagnosis have been magical people for me. They have been so incredibly supportive of me. They have my back. We have to have a team around us that has our back. It's more important than I can even fathom, and it takes more than one person. My primary care person, my husband of almost 38 years, I could not expect him to be everything for me. he had to get his own support as well. And we should support our caregivers in getting the support that they need. And so for me, that meant going outside and looking at my entire field of people that I knew, friends, family, who wants to be on my team. But to do that, I had to know what I wanted. And so I had to look at, what do I want? And what do I need? And who can give that to me? Do they want to give that to me? And so I have formed a team, a supportive team. I had to figure out how to support my body. And so what am I going to look at in regards to nutrition? I think that's a big thing that comes up. It's a big question that comes up for most people. Am I eating the right things? Am I doing the right things? Well, I thought I had a really great, diet before. And yet now I look at it and I go, I don't rely on what I am supposed to eat. I rely on, what does my body want? But to discover that, you have to listen to your body. You have to know what your body's saying. There's a language to the body. So develop a relationship on a very, very different and deeper level with your body. What do you need? What does your body want? Do I want an apple? Do I want, for me, do I want power greens? And sometimes it was like, yes. And other times it was like, no. What I need right now is I need a piece of chocolate because I need the endorphins right at the moment. And so living with that, living with the, what does my body want? What does my body need? Understanding that was incredibly important in my recovery and in my ability to thrive with my cancer. And so how do we thrive with cancer? Well, to be able to thrive with cancer, you have to be able to give your being, your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, you have to be able to give them everything that you need. So it's all these pieces that create us. All these pieces are part of us. And so tease them apart. What does my body need? What do my emotions need? Am I ignoring something? Am I pushing something aside? Have I not looked at it? When it comes to the spirit piece of that, the spirituality piece of who we are, do we know who we are? Do we know what our relationship with God really means? With the universe really means? And so what I thought that I knew then, that I know on a much deeper level now, is what my spirituality means to me. And that fear gets in the way of my relationship with God. So meditation has been very important for me. Meditating every day has been very important for me. Moving my body has been very important to me. Walking every day has been very important to me. Developing a relationship with people and being 100% there in the moment is very important to me now that maybe it wasn't before. My relationship with my family, getting rid of all the stuff that used to get in the way. I don't delve on that anymore. I don't worry about that anymore. I don't worry so much anymore. I used to worry a lot. But now when I worry, I know that I'm doing it. I'm recognizing when I'm doing it. And I'm taking the time to understand what that worry is. What am I afraid of? Am I worried about a scan that's coming up? Maybe, but what does that look like? What does that mean? What am I afraid of? Am I afraid that the cancer has moved? Am I afraid that I might have to change treatments? Am I afraid that, what am I afraid of? We all have our fears. And so we can't live truly and fully unless we address what we're afraid of. So put a picture on it, put a feeling to it, put a color to it, put a face to it, and really look at it. Because what I realized is that I am not afraid of dying. What I realized about myself was the fear that I had was suffering, and what that would look like to what that would be like for my family, what that would be like for me. Am I afraid of pain? Am I afraid of the process? What am I afraid of? And really taking that on, really delving into the fear. Because once we do that, once we look at the fear, then we can live fearlessly. We can live with less fear. But we can't take fear and put it over here and say that's not a part of me, because it is. So as much as we can embrace what we're afraid of and to either turn it over, to give it away, to give it to God, to give it to the universe, to transform, because those are the superficial fears, right? Those are the superficial fears. Because I believe that what is beyond is magnificent. I'm not afraid of what is beyond. But I am at times not afraid, but I grieve the loss of life. And so for me to be okay with that grief means that I have to live every moment. I have to live fully in the moment. And if I'm focused on what the fear is, I can't live the joy. I can't experience the joy. I can't experience the love that's all around me. Because I was a caregiver my whole life. I loved giving to people. And what I'm learning now that I didn't know then was how to receive. And so learning how to receive is huge. Learning how to receive from the people around us, the people that love us, the people that want to give back. We have to allow that in our lives. We have to learn. I had to learn how to receive. And that even means I have to learn, I am learning that God wants to give. God wants me to give it over. By doing that, I am freed up to live. I'm freed up to live. And that's living without the fear of fear, without the fear of loss, and without the fear of grief. Not that those aren't all incredible, important emotions. What I'm saying is that when those emotions, when those fears come up, embrace them. Embrace them, see them for everything they are, let them move, and then replace it with what is important, with the love and the joy. So there have been so many things that I didn't know then that I know now. But I would say that is the most important thing that I didn't know then that I know now. We come into this world with an expiration date. If we're always worried about the expiration date, when and how, then we don't get to fully live. So one of my favorite sayings is it's not about how we die, because we're all going to die. It's about how we live. And that is unique in and of itself. And to not fully live who we are, to take everything that life as a gift gives to us, that would be regretful for me. And sometimes I go, why didn't I do it before? And I go, well, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter what I didn't do then. It only matters what I do now. Right now, in the moment, with my life, every single day. What do I want? Where is my purpose? How can I thrive? I'm going from that place, living from that place. Biggest piece for me. And I hope everyone can find that. I hope everyone can tap into that. I hope everyone can tap into that.